What's up, brother?
What's up, dude?
So this is a long time in the making. So we've known each other.
Come on, see if you got it.
When did you open the store?
Bro, you don't even follow us on our social media.
Come on,
I just had my 6th birthday.
All right, so 6 years.
Anniversary.
So that's how long I've known you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I don't do sales calls ever. Like, I don't. But I just walked in there randomly. Was like, hey, man, what's up? We'll check you out. And then funny enough, and like, it's funny because I've been doing this podcast since right around the same time. So
you had just started.
Yeah. And you actually supplied like a lot of the tequila when we first started doing this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
But yeah, it's crazy to see what's happened with how much y'all have grown, how much all my life's changed and yours. And
man, yours has changed all kind of different ways.
Oh,
brother.
I know.
For the better. For the better.
Oh, for the better, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for you and me both. Gone through some good and bad stuff with with us opening up and having to deal with COVID when it hit and all that kind of stuff. Watching you grow has been incredible, dude. I'll be honest with you. Because you were pulling a trailer around just doing some barbecues wherever you could.
Yeah.
And to see where you've taken it, and then Red Wolf after your stint with your other companies. So
yeah,
dude, I'm super proud of you.
No, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I'm proud of y'all guys, and you're about to you're checking out for the next chapter. We're getting ready for it.
Yeah. So, it's not something we really were planning on. It's just I call it almost like a God thing. About 3 years into the business, Candace and I were working all the time, and I wouldn't let her open. I wouldn't let her shut down. So I was putting 85 hours a week in or so for the first couple of years. And I told her, I said, hey, I'd seen something on Facebook. It was a mountaintop gated community, and it looked awesome.
So you didn't have any ties there? You just saw
I got 0 ties.
Okay.
0. But I saw it, and I'm like, well, let's just go there. She's like, I'm not freaking going there. So, we went back and forth, and I said, look, I'm going to lose it, right? I'm fixing to blow up. I said, we need to shut down. Let's just go. She says, okay. So her, Riley, and I jumped in the car, and we go up there for a week. It was over with. Just done. Fell in love with that area on the east side, the mountain area up in that, and the restaurants. And
where at exactly?
Things. So around Chattanooga.
Okay, gotcha.
About 30. I don't want to be in Chattanooga, although I love Chattanooga.
Because that's like super touristy, right? Right inside there.
Yes and no.
Okay.
What's great about Chattanooga is they were just recognized like the outdoor parks and recreational in the United States, and there's so much to do. You can actually walk around downtown after nighttime and not worry about anything. It's funny how
unlike some other places.
Yeah, we won't mention any names yet, but just fell in love with it, right? And we've been going back about twice a year for 3.5 years now. So, the original plan was to grow Corks Cuts, maybe franchise it or do different stores, and really it's the same problem that I talk to other people about, small business owners, about not expanding in this market is it's employment issues. And, Caden, our son, was working with us, and the plan was to put him up like North Bossier somewhere and start up there. And with the employment issues and call outs and people that don't want to work and all that, I was like, we can't just, if he's struggling, I can't just shut down Shreveport and go to Benton, or wherever it would be up in there. So we just decided to stay where we're at, and about that time the Tennessee started happening, we started that gain momentum and whatever. So we could be here 6 more months, we could be here a year, 5 years. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably start working for Bank Tech here pretty soon, while I'm still here in Shreveport, and start getting trained up on that part of it, and I'm excited for that. Candace will be at the shop, and I'll help on the side or whatever. But like I said, we did have an offer last week, just it didn't come to fruition, and God has a plan, and He'll let me know, when it's time to pull that trigger. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, let's take it back before I met you. Like, how did you get into all this stuff in the first place?
Man,
are you from here?
So I was raised here. I'm not from here. I was born in Texas.
Okay.
I was here we moved here. My dad got out of the military. It's funny because when they bought me home, my grandmother looked at my dad and said, Dieter, you need to call your staff sergeant. He says, why? He says, you have orders for Cameron Bay. So he was fixing to haul it. And he would have done it if I wouldn't have just been born, but he got out at that. He was able to get out at that time. And so we moved to Dallas and then Shreveport, raised here, moved out of here when I was 17, ended up going to the Air Force myself, reserves. So I stayed in Texas for quite a while, but I've been back, you know. But to answer your thing, I came from logistics and transportation, and I moved here kind of for family. Knew I was going to fall on the sword because I was working for Ryder Logistics, 3PL. I was working my way up the corporate ladder. Could have done some big things there. So when I got here, I was doing my own thing for a little while with logistics. Then I ended up going to Glazer's Beer and Beverage when we had everything, wine, liquor, beer, everything. Then went from there to Eagle Distributing. And I don't even know, Candace and I talked about this the other day, I don't even really know who came up with the idea. We had some other ideas we were flirting with, like a pizza place, sports bar. Looked in that Kroger's parking lot on Ellerby.
Yeah.
And then found out what that rent was and what that check was good. I was going to be writing once a month before I did anything, so I decided not to do that. Here's what I tell people. It's almost like one day Candace and I were in the backyard, almost like your kids, right? And I had a stick and there was some dirt, and we drew a play up in the dirt. And we said, "Look, let's try this." And that literally, that's almost how it damn near started.
Yeah.
And, you know, with our expertise, because she was also in the liquor and beer business, and then she went with Cisco Food Corporation, so she learned that side of it for 2 years. So we just took what we knew and kind of jumbled it all up. You know, it's funny because there's really not anybody like us in Shreveport Bossier, honestly. You see a lot of our segment in South Louisiana and Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, a lot of that down there, but you didn't see it a lot here. We kind of broke the mold in that respect, but a lot of it was because of, you know, the laws that were in place in Shreveport, and that's been well documented. We've had to battle that 2 different times, and, you know, now that whole law has changed Shreveport. As a matter of fact, I told our city councilman Grayson Busher the other day, or a couple weeks ago, we were talking, and I said, you know, this new law, since we can, it's not a separate entrance anymore, we should call it the Corks Cuts law. So, but he didn't. I mean, we had a name for the other one, but we'll leave that unnamed.
Well, no, it was. It's funny because that was an issue with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Even with like the grocery stores and everything, like the way they were built and designed all around that shit, and it was weird.
That's why you have.
But you see it that in like Destin, Florida, and other. You get like, I don't know if you see that in other areas.
In other areas,
yeah.
And I don't know if that's by design the way they do, because some things you can go into, like, it's crazy to me. Like, you can go to Ruston or Monroe and go into a Circle K, and they got everything.
Yeah.
Here, you couldn't go into any place. You can go to a grocery store or whatever, and then you can't even in Shreveport, unless now you're grandfathered in, if you have gas pumps, you can't have it. So like a Circle K.
That's weird.
You go to Circle K in Monroe,
they can't have liquor,
anywhere
right?
else, got liquor everywhere.
They can have beer. Right.
Beer, liquor, everything.
Right.
In Shreveport, you cannot do that. Huh. If you have gas pumps, you can't sell it.
That's weird.
You can sell beer and wine.
That's so weird, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. The thing on Sunday doesn't make any sense to me either, because it's like, you can still get beer and wine. Why can't you buy liquor?
Well, that changed, and I'm not sure about Shreveport. Bossier, if they've changed. Now, Shreveport, when I was still at Eagle, that changed. Let me silence this.
Because Bossier, it's still the same, I think.
Is it still the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shreveport, they changed that a while back. I was still at Eagle, matter of fact. So I can sell anything on a Sunday now. And I still have those questions. They call and be like, hey, can you sell?
That's so weird.
Well, that's part of that's part of the Bible Belt.
Well, no, but it's still liquor, though. I mean, it's still alcohol. That's what matters. Like, a dude's going to get drunk on a case of beer, or, you know.
Thank you so much.
Or get, like, some liquor, you know. Like,
absolutely.
It's the same damn thing. I know more people that get drunk on beer than they do liquor.
Well, here's what's crazy. I'll blow your mind. So, let's just say Kroger's. They have the separate entrance. Now, Kroger's could change that if they wanted to. Any grocery store can now.
Right.
Depending on if they're proximity to other liquor.
Right.
Okay. We're battling this whole thing, and I go into Kroger's one day.
What year is this? When all this starts?
We're 6.
Because you just opened.
Yeah. So we were battling with the city council and another.
Well, before we get into that, let's explain to everyone what your layout is.
So our layout is, I really consider us more of a specialty grocery store. We're listed as a liquor store by the state and by the city. But we had wine, liquor, beer, daiquiris, right? And we have fresh cut steaks. We have American Wagyu. We have prep meals. We have sides. We have snacks. You've got drinks. You've got crackers, chips. It's just a small specialty grocery store.
Yeah.
Right? And that setup, the way we opened up and did it, bucked the trend in Shreveport, right? There was a thing called the separate entrance law. There was another company that was behind that from way years back and didn't want that to change because they felt like they would get a lot more competition from grocery stores.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we all started with that. And then it all came to a head when we went to, 2 years ago? We went to renew our permits, and there was a new ABO officer in Shreveport. Super cool cat. And is doing a lot of great things for Shreveport, honestly, in that side of the business. And I called him. I said, hey, they told us our permits are due. We're coming to get them. He goes, well, I can't do it. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I went to the city council, and they said, he goes, do you want me to enforce this 100%? And they said, absolutely, enforce it. Well, they've just kind of been letting us go. We're out in Southeast Shreveport. They're not bothering anybody. Don't worry.
You're not anyone's threat right there.
No.
Yeah.
So he tells the city council, because the way that law truly worked by the book, it was never handled right. It was never enforced right. So the way that works is if you sold liquor, you could not sell anything else. You can't sell cigarettes. You can't sell a mixer. You can't sell Coke. You can't sell a water. You can't sell anything but liquor. That's the way the law read.
Okay.
Not the way it was being enforced. So other places were getting away with it, right? So he goes, I think there at the time were 55 quote unquote liquor stores like us, or not like us, but liquor stores in Shreveport. Every one of them, with the exception of a few, less than 5, that because they were been grandfathered in, would have had to shut down.
Right, because they were selling something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chips or something.
Cigarettes,
anything,
whatever. Yeah. And so he goes, and then there was a couple of companies that came out, but he goes back to the city council, and he's like, well, I'm going to shut down 55 stores. They're like, what? By the way the law is written, you can't have anything else. One company had just dropped $1 million on a place out in North Market from ground up.
Yeah.
And then we're going to let them go. So they ended up getting it changed. So everybody's cool now. There's still rumblings about it out there and why grocery stores haven't done some of it yet, whatever. But nobody got hurt from it. Nobody has lost any sales from it. And some people were worried all the grocery stores would convert, right? And they would be able to, you could just walk in the main entrance and there would be an aisle.
What's it matter?
It really doesn't.
What's it matter, dude? I do not understand it. I understand the mentality, and I get the whole Bible Belt thing. But look, at the end of the day, I can go in any restaurant and buy it. I can if I'm 5 miles across, if I'm across the river 0.1 miles, I can buy it in a Circle K. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, don't mistake the Bible Belt for what this was, though. That law was set up by really one owner of a company.
Okay.
Years ago.
We can't say who. What
I mean, you ask me the name, I'll tell you the name.
I don't know. No, I'm just wondering.
So it was really.
We don't have to say the name. It's fine. So people can figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Whatever.
But yeah, it was their way.
Is it someone still in business?
Absolutely.
Okay, then I don't want to.
It was their way to try to protect their business.
Okay.
In their minds.
So they would have had to have been a liquor store.
That is correct.
100% liquor store.
100%, except a few stores that would have been grandfathered.
Okay.
Yeah, it got kind of messy.
So that I got you. I know what you're talking about now. But no, I mean I get it. So that led to, well, you got through all that, and that was like what, right before COVID? Or during COVID?
That was that was right after the re-up was after COVID.
Right. But y'all were dealing with some shit before too, weren't you?
Yeah, that was a whole like.
You've always been dealing with some shit. Ever since I met you, you was like, dude, we got this going on. These people breathing down our neck saying we can't do this. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what?
Well, I mean, we challenged the system.
Well, I just think you were a threat, apparently, or someone thought you were.
That's right.
Not weren't trying to be. You're just running the business.
Yeah, I mean, I could almost say it's just we were just doing common sense stuff. There's nothing rocket scientist about what we've done or what we did at the time.
Yeah.
It's done everywhere. So Shreveport was the only city in the entire state that had that law.
Right.
Only city. Bossier didn't have it. Monroe, Ruston, Ellick, Lafayette.
But some of these cities can't. And there's some people can't do drive-through, and some can. Like Bossier can't have drive-through. Like I don't know. I know it's like the city can, but the parish can't, right. But the parish can.
So if we were going to go to Bossier, we would go north.
Where I'm
go
at,
parish,
right there with the dagger shop. There's a dagger shop out there now. They who is it? One of the franchise ones.
Dagger Express, something like that.
I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So everybody's different. Everybody's got little nuances, but Shreveport just didn't make any sense.
So it's just pure city legislation.
Correct.
And someone influenced that from a long time ago.
Correct.
And they just kind of kept it going until somebody come in and was like, hey, hold on a minute. I got you.
Yeah. Until we showed up and busted everybody's bubble. But I'll be honest with you, though, it's been better for Shreveport in the respect of, well, one, you didn't shut down 55 businesses. And it's already hard enough to do business as a small business in Shreveport. Trust me.
What obstacles have you seen? Because, like, I know you – because we've kind of talked about this shit, and I'm like one of those people, like, this podcast isn't even that much business associated, but, like, you and I have talked about this a bunch, and I feel like it's just kind of important to talk about. Like, you saw the uptick in sales and alcohol consumption during COVID. Like, what did all that look like? Like, when did you kind of say, oh, shit, this is we're turning a leaf and we're doing, like, growing? And
so, honestly, COVID put us on the map.
Right.
I mean, so as a small business, you have to be able to pivot and recognize trends and either get out, get in, do something. I think if you stay, you're in trouble. Something's bad's going to happen. So when COVID happened, people didn't want to go to the grocery stores, right? For whatever reason. They didn't want to go because people were there, or they didn't want to go because they didn't want to wear a mask, right? So we pivoted and we started picking up a lot more grocery store items. I mean, like our deli cooler was full of fresh vegetables. We had sandwich meat, hot dogs, bread. Dude, we were selling toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, I had if I could sell it, and like if it moved in a grocery store, I was putting it out.
And they could come through the drive-through. So it's like
they could come through the drive-through. They could come
do
in.
a mask thing, or don't have to deal with none of that shit.
Yeah, no, we didn't deal with any of that.
Yeah.
That's another story. But it truly put us on the map. Probably 1920, probably 2021, probably our two best years. 22. Because everybody just pounded. And then when people started migrating back to the big grocery box chain, then we let that filter out and moved on to our next deal. I'll give you a perfect example. Well, let's go back. Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought. We started with one cooler door of food.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
We thought we would do some hand-cut steaks.
You're just going to be a liquor store and have some
hand-cut steaks, some twice-baked potatoes, a couple sides. Today, we have 4 cooler doors, 5 freezer doors of food. And that's where the community pushed us
Yeah.
to go. And I saw some pictures the other day that popped up from when we had first started, and to see what the shelves looked like then to now, it just blows your mind. I'm like, God, were we kids then or something? I mean, it's nuts. But you fast forward to today, THC seltzers.
Oh yeah, you got those. Yeah.
Smoking them.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Summer last year, it's when it kind of started, and there was a couple, but there was really two. One brand, Crescent 9.
Yeah, because I got those from you.
Yes.
Like when they first come out, I was like, shoot.
Yeah. So, and they've gone through some transitions too, but overall, we had two, and now I have 35 different SKUs of that. And if you come in as a customer and you ask me, hey, which one's the best? I can't answer your question because they all freaking sell. It's almost like weird.
Yeah.
Candace and I said, if you would have told us 6 years ago that, hey, your business is going to be doing this, and then THC seltzers are going to come along, and it's going to kill your beer, your craft beer, your red wine, and your vodka sales, I'd have been like, I'll take your bet.
So everyone's drinking them.
Oh my God!
Have you tried? Like, yeah. I'm sure you tried them, but like, do y'all drink them? Like,
so I don't drink them. We don't drink them regularly.
Because you're not drinking anymore.
No, yeah. Alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I hadn't been. I think it's over 2 years now, and Candace is on 3.
Yeah.
Something. And dude, it's a phenomenon that's happening everywhere. And you see these liquor companies are starting to panic. Brown-Forman, they're changing their whole distributorship, thinking that's going to help, and it's really not. It's not their current distributor that's hurting them, in my opinion. It's just there is a huge change, and what we've seen is from the consumer is looking for something maybe a healthier alternative.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't have as much sugar.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't have the sulfates. Something that doesn't help that when they wake up the next morning have a headache. So my experience with them when we first got them, I was really skeptical.
They make me tired, bro. I need to find one that doesn't make me tired. If you have a plug for one,
but that's kind of they used to. Well, they still have some online that you can buy. I can't sell them because the milligrams too high. But there's some online that are a energy drink that it has an energy drink portion to it,
right?
But it's also THC and CBD.
Gotcha.
I had a lady, I thought that was the weirdest thing, and I'm telling you, it was good tasting. But I was kind of weirded out about it, and she said she came in and she was getting it. She goes, I was in a car wreck, and she had to have some facial surgery. And she was doing it because if she got that, she could operate and function during the day because it gave her the energy. It didn't kind of bring her down or whatever. And I found that interesting.
Yeah, I like the 5 milligrams, but you go like 20.
Bro, we had 10, a 50.
20,
the black can.
Meeker was just here. So we were in Florida year before last, and I won't say who because I don't. Anyways, somebody brought some. I don't want to get them in trouble. I don't know if they, whatever. Anyways, they brought some, and they had them. And I told Meeker, I was like, dude, drink this, you know.
The black can?
Yeah.
The 50?
I was like, hey, man, drink this when we get back to because we were like at a restaurant, and we were about to golf cart back to where our residence was. And so I didn't realize that he didn't realize it was alcohol seltzer. He thought it was alcohol seltzer, and he downed it. And we got back to the house and said, let's split that. And he was like, it's gone. I was like, what? Ended up, we had been drinking and hanging out all day, and he ended up passing out. He said he had some crazy dreams or whatever. But I was like, dude, if I would have drank that, I would have been like in another planet.
Yeah.
I'm so like, it doesn't take me much, you know?
So I had one of our vendors, she'd gotten them. And so even before the new law for the state saying it can't be over 5 milligrams, or I can't sell it, or nobody can sell it. You can buy it online, but
so you can't sell anything over 5.
The new law in the state was you can't sell anything over 5.
Why did they do that?
Legislation.
So it's just one of those things where they're trying to like direct those sales somewhere else, I guess maybe.
I don't know. I know there was a huge fight.
You can't buy them at all in the state if they're over 5.
You could go online.
I can get them shipped to my house.
Shipped
to your house. I can't buy them in a store over 5 milligrams.
No.
This must have just happened.
First of the year.
I was about to say, I bought some. Okay.
Yeah, first of the year that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lady who bought those, and all of them, the 20 milligrams, 30, 50, all of them said serving size, 1 can, serving size. The black can said serving size is 1 ounce. Well, she drank about half that. So, then she said she passed out. She woke up, couldn't feel her legs. She started laughing. She said, the only thing I knew to do is go back to sleep it off. I said, and that's the thing, right, with those. If you're drinking alcohol and you start getting kind of buzzed, or you're getting a little bit too much, you go eat a greasy cheeseburger, eat something, and it kind of mellows you out, right? Well, once you do that with the THC seltzer, when you get to that point, like if you hit them back to back, there's no...
You got to ride it.
Ride the lightning, baby.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Until you come down. But I was very skeptical, honestly.
Well, my thing is like, so you have you have that many SKUs. Apparently, you're selling that much of it. So
yeah,
like,
it's increased. Sales have increased every month.
Drinking on the golf course. They drinking like, what are they doing?
Golf course.
Okay.
I think the biggest. Now we do have a few of them that will pound back to back. So instead of they're getting that buzz from alcohol, they're getting that buzz from the THC seltzer. But as soon as they start feeling it, they just stop and they start drinking water, or a mocktail, something like that. And so they don't even do it anymore. And that's why it's hurt sales so bad. As far as red wine, I have a lady. She's come in by 5-6 bottles of red wine. Loves her red wine. Now she'll come in buy 1 bottle, but she'll buy 2 4-packs of the THC seltzers because she'll have 1 glass now. And so after she has her 1 glass, she just switches and sips on that. I had, again, I was like, I'm never touching those things. And I had about a year ago, I every once in a while I get anxiety issues, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the doctor. He wouldn't call me anything because it's been over a year. And there were nights I was walking the neighborhood 2, 3 in the morning.
I remember you telling me that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I trying to get the monkey off my back. And then I was like, well, you dumb son of a bitch. People would tell me they drank them to sleep. So I did it like a baby.
Yeah. And
I was like, okay, well, break the stigma. And I think that stigma is still there. I had a guy, we were checking out, I was checking him out. It was a good customer of mine. And, man, he had tequila, whiskey, he had beer, he was stocking his bar.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had somebody else over here talking to me about the THC seltzer. We're talking, he goes, what are y'all talking about? And I told him, and he said, well, man, I don't know about, my dad was a preacher. And I looked at him, I said, what's the difference in what that is? And you're buying, more people die of liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, or alcohol or drunk
abuse,
driving or whatever.
Yeah, or smoking cigarettes. It's just what's socially acceptable.
Yeah, of course.
I said you're stuck on that part.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I was at the very beginning. I was kind of like that. I'm old school, like But times change, right? You gotta move some.
Yeah, no, I like them. What about mushrooms? Y'all got anything with mushrooms yet?
No, but
that's coming.
I truly believe that's going to be your next thing because it's the next healthy.
Hey, we like us some mushrooms.
Well, and there's some stuff you can get online.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything yet with the retail.
I don't know if I have it in there. I have the THC liquor in there. It's hey Josh. I don't know if Josh is in there. I have a bottle of it though, that THC, but it's like the liquor. It's not the seltzer. I don't know what it's called, but anyways, I have that. It's pretty legit. And then there was a mushroom one too. That's pretty legit. Just something to take place of tequila.
Yeah.
Just to try. Like drinking on the rocks. It was pretty legit.
Well, same thing. Like you were talking about golf. I have a guy that now he came in. He's a great customer. He's a friend. That's what's been so cool. I'll be honest with you. I know this is kind of off subject, but what the coolest thing about our business is, you open a business to make money, obviously, but it's a very close second is how many friends we friggin' made.
Yeah.
And how many close relationships. Like, I feel like I could, and a lot of them have my cell, I have their cell. I feel like I could call any of them if I needed something. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
That's been so cool. I just want to interject that real quick.
No, there's no point. We're just talking shit, dude. It's whatever.
That's been a true blessing. As far as our business goes, I go back to meeting you. I consider you a great friend of mine.
That was super random. Somebody told me, hey, this place open. I was like, well, I'm going to swoop in there and just see what's up. Because I was working out across the street every day.
Yep.
I was like, I got to see what's up here because, I like tequila, and also like, let's see if they need some help with some business. And I just instinctively, I was like, what's up? And I was like, damn, these people end up, dude, we've done so much together. A lot of stuff. Seen a lot of shit.
Bro.
Well, what about so you swimming? How did you get into that shit?
So I was, two of my sons swam. And they were swimming at cost. And then when Caden, my youngest, was swimming, I was up there all the time anyway. And I knew two of the coaches, Martha Siskron, Patrick Othout. I had been affiliated. My very first job I ever had was at Southside Swim Club. I was 12 years old. Been working since. So I grew up around the cost, and I knew Butch's dad, and I knew Butch. And they're like, hey, man, you're up here all the time. Why don't you, if you want to coach? And I'm like, sure, I'll try it out, whatever. Bruh, I got into it so hard.
Well, are you like a really experienced swimmer too? I mean.
No. I mean, can I swim? Yeah.
Right.
But can I do all four strokes? Yeah, and it probably is not pretty anymore. But I went from coaching those JV kids as a level 1 to traveling the United States, going to different things for Louisiana swimming. I was the age group director for the state for a couple years. I was asked by USA Swimming with Swim America they had a deal in New Orleans, and I got asked to do a speech on that program for there. I just fell in love with the sport. I fell in love with what it does, what it can do for people. So yeah, and there's not a day goes by that I still kind of wish that I was in that realm, but it's got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not in that position where I can do it and not, worry about that. So if it's on TV, I'm watching it. I still follow it, not as closely as I used to. But yeah, to me, that's the best sport ever. And it kind of shows you too, like, how much relationship building means to me. Like, so these kids, like when Caden he started when he's 9 or 10 or so. So I had all these kids about that age, and you have them 11 months out of the year in competitive swim. So it's like they're your kids. Yeah. They're your sons or your daughters or whatever. And now I see these kids are having kids.
Yeah.
But they still call me, like, if I see them or they hit me up on social media, hey, CD, they used to call me CD. Laura Jesselyn, I think and Haley Othout got that. They would call me, they saw a CD on the ground. They said, oh, CD. That was me from Coach Derrek. But they still, if they see me out or whatever, CD. And that has been another blessing in my life, just the relationships I've been able to build with those kids and see how much they've changed and thrived, and things that you would say this person was going to do, it's totally opposite of what you thought, but they're still very successful.
Yeah.
It's been great. That's a part of my life I would never give. And I always in the back of my mind think I would do it again if I could. But
well, what you said what swimming does for people. So what do you, like, in your opinion? Because I'm not familiar. And here's the thing, you were there. You were there.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up.
Oh, I don't care, dude. I want everybody to know how horrible it was. So like, I'm one of those people, like, I'm gonna die on the sword if I have to, right? So it's like, I tried to practice. I wish I would have just, and you told me to call you. I should have just called you. But like, at the same time, I was like, I'll figure it out because I swam growing up, but it's just completely different. Yeah. And especially when you're like a bigger dude like me, and you're holding muscle mass, and you're trying to use all arms, and you don't really know the technique. And like, we're practicing for Wad Gods this year before last, and we're just going to the Y and like trying to run laps. And dude, I'll go one way, and I'm burnt, like spent, and then I'll come back another way.
Yeah, 25 yards, and you're burnt.
Yeah, dude. And like, so I was in the competition when you were helping judge.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I almost quit. Like, it was.
Eric Murphy and I were at the Y the other day. He was doing his thing, and we were actually talking about that. And I said, I've never seen so many in shape, great physiques. I mean, just suck at swimming.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I just sink I feel like I sink like.
But the thing is, I mean, but even not your body type, right? Even people that were skinnier or whatever, that or leaner or leaned out or whatever. I was like, dude.
Are women naturally better? Because I feel like all the women did fine.
No.
They're not? Okay. So what do you think, like, back to my question, like, what do you think's good about it? Like, what it does for people, you said, like?
Well, I think just if you're just taking the sport out of it and you're just talking about swimming.
Yeah, just swimming.
Right. So it's something you can do for the rest of your friggin' life.
Okay.
Like you do CrossFit type stuff.
Yeah.
I do CrossFit type stuff. And I hope I can do it for as long as I can. And I know some people, well, you've had Tom Siskron on here.
Yeah,
his mama's still doing it.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Valerie. She works out with us. She's in her, I don't want to say her age, but she is in her 60s. I don't know. And she'll be out there this weekend doing that stadium challenge. And she literally beat me last year by a mile. Like, so like I see people like some dogs, you know what I mean?
But I guess my point is you can, at a certain point in time with CrossFit or any like that kind of exercise, in my opinion, you'll have to modify it so much, right? Swim, you don't have to. I mean, you can go at your own pace if you're just doing freestyle or whatever, working on controlling your breathing, all that different stuff. The elasticity that it gives you, your muscles, the stretching of your muscles, if you're using the right technique, the lung capacity that it takes. I'm still working on that on a friggin' Echo bike now. I mean, I hate that thing and it hates me. But I just think it's a lifetime sport that you go to the Y and at Lash or at the BHP, and you'll see some old people out there swimming.
Yeah, and they made me look like, dude, I remember,
I mean, and it's not, it never has to be a race. You can take your sweet time. Caden, my son, has kind of gotten back into it a little bit. And as good as he used to be, he told me the other day, he said, Dad, he goes, I just do 25 yards at a time. It's all about his breathing. Now, if he keeps doing it in 2-3 weeks, that muscle memory and that memory will come back. Yeah. And that part will go away.
What about like the people that are deathly afraid of it? Like just people that just can't swim. Like, have you ever had those? Or they could tread water. Or couldn't even tread water good, but they could doggy paddle, I guess.
So at Southside, whenever I first started doing personal lessons myself, happen all the time, and it didn't matter white, black, Hispanic, did not matter. The very first thing I would have somebody do is, you have to trust. It's a hard thing to do, especially if you've never been around water. So the very first thing I would do, and I may spend 2 or 3 practices before we did anything outside this, I would make them get on their back, and I would just sit there and hold them and support their head and let them feel the water and trust the fact that you can float.
Well, what is it that makes you not? Like, is it just panic?
Yeah.
Like holding your breath, or
what do you get? I mean, if you can't swim and you don't trust the water, you go under. You're thinking, I'm done. You know what I mean? So, and you can feel them. I mean, when you're holding somebody, especially from the back, and I try not to do it from the side because I don't want them to see me.
Yeah.
You can feel their body, like
the density of it. Yeah.
The density of it, the tremors of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel the body, and it's amazing to feel when you're doing that day 1 versus maybe day 2, day 3. It just depends on the individual of what that feels like day 1 versus when they get it, when they like, I'm okay, and that whole body just, then you can do whatever you want to do. I can get them to do anything I want them to do. You just got to give them the trust.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like that in life and a lot of things, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, because we naturally are good swimmers as a species. I mean, most of the planet's water, right? So like, it's just been stripped away from us for so long, like in natural society where people don't do it anymore.
Yeah, and I think as time has gone on too, we all grew up in swimming pools.
Yeah, so did I, and it's funny now, like going back into one and trying to compete, it's not the same because that's structured breathing and strokes and stuff that I just wasn't familiar with. And I was never the best swimmer, but I could at least, tread water for a little bit, but like, no, man, it is interesting that like how that swimming used to be something you do. Now it's more like you stand in a shallow pool and drink, leisure versus used to going to the pool and actually swimming, And
I just don't think today's generation does that outdoor thing anymore anyway. So those kids, you and I grew up.
We went to the lake.
You went to the lake? Yeah. We went to my Uncle Jimmy's house. He had a swimming pool.
I went to Lake Bissano. We was in that way. We were swimming. Dude, if I can survive, I can survive anything. We swim in that place. We swim anywhere. Swim in the Red River. I'm telling you.
But I guess my point is now that doesn't happen.
No.
And it's really a shame. And I'm hoping that pendulum will swing back. And as you get away from that COVID area, where the massive lockdowns, maybe as we get more away from that, people will push more towards that way. And I think I see it in some respects, but I think it'll be a while.
Yeah, that was an interesting time, man. It's funny that we still have to talk about it and still have to admit how so much of it was bullshit.
Absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole nother segment on that.
Well, dude, it was just I feel like it was just a huge kind of like a test.
Yeah.
See what would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, who would comply and who could we get? And, it's probably been overused. And I know I've gotten a lot of crap for saying it from certain people. But it's like, who can we control?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And who can we lead and to do what we want to do?
Yeah.
That ain't me, Jack. I mean, and people make fun of you like, you think you're the lion and and I'm like, no, dude, I use common sense. I make up my own mind, right? When it first happened, did I kind of freak out too a little bit? Yeah, but then the more you read,
there was unity for a minute, like a little bit of unity.
Yeah,
like everybody's like, okay, we're gonna support everybody, we're gonna figure this out, and then the more you just realize, dude, this is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, right? It was
like no one's dropping that dead outside. Like it's not. They're not doing. It's not happening how it was portrayed to us. But scare tactics, yada yada yada. Everyone's heard it. They're probably tired of that drum being beaten. But it is interesting to bring up because it's one of those things, man, where it's something that we can refer back to. But once again, you bring up like there's a segment of amount of years where people's life were completely changed. Whether it be they were taken out of school, didn't have social interaction, now that they can't function as in young adults because they don't know how to act, like in certain scenarios because they never had experience there. There's so many variants to that other than just the inconvenience of not being able to go to work or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot more shit that
the best thing, and I'm speaking from my personal experience, mine and Candace's, the best thing we ever did for our daughter was put her at Calvary. I get emotional talking about it. We never had to deal with online learning.
Yeah.
They never stopped going to school. And the first day, so this was 4 years ago, the first day I dropped her off, ask me how many masks I saw.
Shit, how many?
0.
Yeah.
Ask me how many mass breakouts Calvary had.
Probably none.
0. To your point.
Yeah.
But she was able to gain so much by being there, by not having you have to stay home and do your work from a computer. I think people miss the part that social interaction and the camaraderie between kids and students and teachers.
Dude, it's key for development to a young adult.
Absolutely.
I mean,
dude.
You made some of the best, probably had some of the best times in your life in high school.
Absolutely.
We have the people that's all they talk about.
Yeah, just ask my mom; she'll tell you.
you have grown people that just they bring up high school, and it's not because it's just because those were some of the best times of their life. You know, and
Absolutely.
it's like, dude, this dude's talking about high school. Well, maybe his life sucks now.
Yeah.
But he looks back, and those are some of the best times of their life. Social interaction, learning how to be an adult. Maybe you drank a little too much. Maybe you smoked something. You know, maybe you got in trouble with your friends, but you all did it as a community. Like, you did it together. You know what I mean? It was.
I really do feel bad for kids now because, like, when I was in high school, we all pretty much on Friday, Saturday nights, whatever, you know, everybody gathered, right?
Yeah, you're going to meet up somewhere.
So we were AC Steer Park. We never got messed with by the police.
Yeah.
Until if somebody did something stupid or somebody came peeling out there.
Right.
So, but when they did, we were out there drinking
we were
beer and
Walmart
stuff.
Parking lot.
Yeah, but we were out there drinking beer and stuff, and the police would roll up on you.
Yeah.
If for some reason they happened to, and it didn't happen often, and they'd be like, pour that out. Y'all need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Now, you'd be run up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, I don't know, man. It's just.
Times.
We sound like the old people they would say, but it's different because there's a huge shift within the past 5 years. It's not like
Absolutely.
It's not like times have changed. Yeah, of course, over time stuff has changed, but if you really look at it, those age kids have always been gathering and hanging out. You know, everyone's always going to get in some mischief, whether they're riding bikes and rolling a house, or they're throwing beer cans at a street sign. You know, there's always going to be some dumb shit you do as a kid. But now, that interaction was stripped away for an X amount of years, and it affects them into developing. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at kids today in Shreveport. I mean, where they go? What do they do?
I don't know.
I mean, my son now is 26. He's not a bar guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to gamble. He's not even a big drinker. Where do you go?
It's nothing. I mean, what else do you do? Yeah, that's all I wanted to do back then. You know,
I mean,
party, but yeah.
Thank God he's not like
Right,
I was.
No shit.
Because at that age, I was in Texas still and doing some crazy stuff. But my point is, like, what do they do here?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not a bar person, and you don't like to gamble, and you're not a big drinker, well,
yeah. I mean, there's not much left to do. I mean, I can't think of anything. I mean, if you're into sports or something, cool. But when you're in your early 20s, that's kind of like you're not doing that for a hobby. Like, you might go to the gym, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not team sporting it or anything to take up your time on the weekend. I mean, outdoors is really big. But hell, we were doing the drinking and messing around out deer camp stuff too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that is really big here, I guess, and but not as much as it used to be. I don't think.
You know, I was reading an article the other day, and I don't know if you saw it, about the population drop here, of how many people have left in the last 5 years.
Oh yeah.
That's part of the problem. I mean, so I was talking to an officer the other day, and that topic came up just randomly. And he says, you can't imagine, and he's in the police department. He goes, you can't imagine the number of people that are moving right across the line in Texas, Wascom, Longview, Tyler, Marshall, because there's so much going on there.
I was looking at I talked to you about it for a good while, and I was looking at that very seriously.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then life took a sudden turn, which ended up being a great thing. But still, do I contemplate that? Eventually? Probably so.
So he said two places: Texas, East Texas, and Tennessee. I'm like, really, Tennessee?
Oh yeah,
woohoo! But yeah, there's a lot of people in Shreveport that have great ideas, and we kind of talked about this. My personal opinion is this: I almost can draw a line in the sand on the demise of Shreveport. GM shutting down. I just had a long conversation with a friend / customer of ours, and how that went down, and how Shreveport did fight for it, but it was actually Bobby Jindal who didn't renew some tax credits, and so GM was like, "See ya."
Okay.
So GM,
so how many? A political thing.
Oh yeah, it was all political. How many suppliers out there that ran into GM, that supported GM, right? Then you had almost like the death of Southwest Shreveport when AT&T and Southwestern Bell.
Yeah, that was
when
a
it
huge
went down
part too.
I was growing up over there.
Yeah.
When that went down.
Southern Hills area. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was the place to be.
It was booming.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That was Costs big days back in the day because everybody was a member at Southside Swim Club.
Yeah.
And then you have like Libby Glass. Then you have the last one that just comes off the pharmaceutical place right there off 3130, Dr. Reddy's.
Dr. Reddy's, yeah.
And I think the port tries. Eric's done a great job, in my opinion, down at the port. Nothing will change here with all these great ideas until we bring back in Shreveport big blue collar, high paying jobs. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Amazon, I think that would. There's some people that I know that had some property up there around the Amazon Mart, and they were told, "Man, people got nothing. They're still sitting on land or businesses."
They're. I mean, logistically, they're placing those everywhere.
Yeah. But it wasn't as big. It's not as big.
It's not as big as it made out to be. But it's just because they don't need as many.
They don't need
it. But also, look, man. Even still, is that going to happen? Because look at AI. Look at I mean, half of these facilities like that were ran back then, like GM here, like employed how many people? I don't know. I'm sure tens of thousands.
Yeah, it was a big number.
Yeah, tens of thousands. And so,
especially if you take in everybody that
like everyone associated to it,
yeah.
Right. So like imagine how that's probably cut into a half, or even less than that with robotics and machinery and
Absolutely.
stuff like that too. But even though yet still you do have, but yes, I mean, for the economy, it still is good, right? Any kind of manufacturing.
Anytime you can get some kind of blue collar job and that segment's coming back.
Well, trades are going to be one of the most lucrative businesses in the next 10 years because there's because there's nobody who is trained up on a trade. So you can you're going to be able to name your price.
Yeah.
If you need me to come do plumbing at your house, in 10 years, that's going to be, I mean, I can name my price.
Yeah.
Electrician, plumbing.
Same thing.
HVAC.
And it's funny, as I've grown as an individual too, like I was in that camp of, when you graduate, you have to have a 4-year degree, whatever. And that's kind of how I was raised my kids, kind of. And then as I've gotten older and seen things change or whatever, I'm like, not so much. I mean
that's how we
a 4-year degree ain't for everybody.
No, I mean, I thought that was a huge achievement. I was the first person to have a degree on both sides of my family. Like that I thought was a big deal. We didn't do shit. I didn't even do anything compared to it. I just got it because I was able to get it while I was working a full-time job. I didn't go and do it. But yeah, man, we're in different times. And for the longest time, especially throughout the 90s and early 2000s, that was the thing. You go to college, get your degree, you become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, sought after jobs or whatever that you can attach that degree to, and then you're going to take care of the family. And now I've just learned, kind of like you, it's like it's better if I take it and put it all on my own back and figure it out. And I can work as much as I want to.
Well, and the other part of that is it's gotten so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you come out of school and your kid's in debt.
Oh, yeah.
Day one.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's another thing too. That's just us not educating our children on financial, literacy, and it's a fault of our own too, right?
Well, and it's also the big government, and the more they give money, the more the colleges go up.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's almost like inflation, but there's not a level playing field, right?
No.
They can just name their price.
That's right.
And it's like the government will match that tuition fee, and then you're roped in. Fuck, if you're going to med school, you're roped in for 150, 200 G's.
Easy, probably.
If you're going to a 4-year college that's somewhat reputable, you're roped in for 50 G's, easy. $10,000 a semester for a decent college. If you go to community college, maybe you can get it for $5,000 a semester.
That's something that I ended up doing. So I screwed up school when I first went out to tech and came to LSUS, and then was still on that path of destruction, and went to the Air Force Reserves, and that kind of changed everything for me. But when I moved to Texas, that's how, after I felt like I was working the docks and doing stuff like that, and figured out that a community college was a lot cheaper and it would transfer over to University of Texas, Arlington. Yep. So that's what I did. I told, I graduated in 86, from high school, and in '96 I graduated from college because I paid for it on my own.
Yeah.
And did it myself. And I think sometimes that was a better way to do it.
That's what I did. I didn't go to college until I was 22 or so, or 21 or 22. I was already in oil and gas. And I found out that I could go to BIPSI and then roll that into, like, take my first courses cheaper, roll that into another college. So I did BIPSI, graduated there to associates, and then went into NSU. And so, like, it worked fine there too. Cost efficient, you know, a little more cost efficient. But I did the same thing, and I was working a full-time job while I did it.
Yeah,
and I did it online, which is crazy because it is just online. It just come like really. They really kind of just optimized it. It had been out a while, but they just kind of optimized it.
I don't know that I could ever do it. I don't know that I could just do an online class.
It was horrible, but I didn't know any different. And I was like, how am I going to do it and work?
Yeah.
And when I was in oil and gas, I was like, I have to do it on computer because I'll just do it around
my
crazy-ass schedule. You know, it's not like I could go to night classes.
Well, that was the cool thing about being dock worker, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have to go until afternoons.
So you got your shit in during the day and then go work in the afternoon.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know that I could do – I'm just too much of a social – and I learned by seeing and hearing and all that.
Oh, I definitely didn't learn anything. I just did it. Like, I did it, just went through the motion. I can't tell you anything I learned. But I got a business degree, but, like, I didn't even want a degree. I was just like, which is the easiest, quickest one I can get? Because I was wanting to apply for a corporate sales job in oil and gas. And even though I was applying for it, the minimum requirement was that you had to have a bachelor's. So I was just like, well, I'm going to let this company reimburse me for my school. I'm going to go, and then I'm going to work my way up and go into corporate. Well, got damn near all the way through it, and then there was a bunch of layoffs, and then I decided to change industries, you know, and then I was just finishing up there when I swapped industries, and it still never really related to anything I'm doing now. I mean, I could say I have a business degree. I'm a business owner of multiple businesses now, but I didn't learn shit from getting that degree.
So, you know, it's just, to me, like, if you're wanting to go that corporate side or whatever, all it is it's a key. And they don't even care, depending on what your degree is and what you're doing. They don't care. They just want to see that you had the discipline to do something for 4 years.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, for sure.
But I think there's a lot of value in the way we've done it.
Yeah.
We still have our degree, but our small businesses, like I had a mass communication and minor in business. I guess you could say I use it every day. I don't know. But we almost did our business like street smarts.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that just like you went through multiple industries before you landed here, so you've been through all the scenarios, right? And then you can apply that to any business.
Right.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
You could give me 10 different businesses and I could run them because I've already been through or worked with someone similar. It's customer service, logistics, and delivery margins. Like, it's the same across the board. I mean, look, people will argue this shit. Look, yes, I know every single industry is different, but 9 times out of 10, as long as you have a decent workforce, you know, and you're put in the right position, you can make it profitable.
The core, I mean, I think a lot of times people are, and when I was with corporate America with Ryder, I think as a business owner, especially in the corporate world, or in the corporate world, you can't be afraid to put people smarter than you around you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've never been. I wasn't like that when I was with Ryder. It doesn't take a whole lot to be smarter than me anyway. So that's not. I mean, it's not too hard to find those type of people. But yeah, I think customer service. I think you touched on that. Is a lost art now, and I see it from distributors. We see it at grocery stores. We see it all these different places. I can have somebody come in the shop, and they'll come in and they'll go straight to what they want. Come, you know, hey, how you doing? Get what they want. Come in and check out. Whole process is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That same person leaves 15 minutes later because we sit there and bullshit.
Right. Is that the most efficient way to do business? Probably not. But you're building a recurring client. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, when I say it's not most efficient, if you're talking to someone who's about corporate processes and volume and ROI.
So we're talking about politics. We're talking about they just lost their grandmother. What did they think about what just happened? The LSU baseball game. It's a lost art.
Yeah, you're creating a relationship.
But it doesn't happen anymore.
No, it don't happen anymore.
I mean, we're in a self-checkout, or you go into places now and they kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier with that generation. Right? They don't even say hello.
No, everything's 100% transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just making a paycheck, you know? And I think, yeah, man, it's interesting. But I think working oil and gas for me, in the corporate side of it too, because I was in a really, really large company. There's 3 or 4 big ones in the world. I was at one of them, right? So like, there's just a lot. You're just a number. They don't give a shit. Just happened to be I was in a very specific service at that business, and so I had a little more job security because there was only a handful of us to operate in the entire United States. So I had a little more job security, but still, you're still just a number. So when it comes to, you're not getting this 2% raise this year, or we're cutting checks, cutting everyone's money 6%, and all that shit, But what I did learn in working corporate, and you probably did too, especially I did a lot of logistics too, because we were constantly swapping back products. Like this facility needed this, well, I needed this, and credit this, swap. You know how that shit works. Yeah. So like I learned a lot of that, and I also learned a lot of really good organization traits. But you lose the personal feel, right? So like bringing it back to small business and having some systems in place and still being able to build personal interactions and generate that relationship like that, I think that's what kind of I figured out how to do. Yeah. You did the same thing.
Well, like when you had problems like in logistics, so I was over Snapple, Dr. Pepper, Carrier Group, something else, and we did all of their logistics for the United States, right? And so most of the time, it's just crazy to me how it goes back to relationships. So we were having trouble out of Givaudan in New Jersey. So guess who would get on the plane and go up to Givaudan, go there, walk through there, because you're trying to do the logistics in the way it's the best for the customer, but that may not meld with what that supplier does, right? And so you go up there. I've been to Pennsylvania, New York, all those places up there, to learn, okay, show me what your processes are. And then as you see the processes, you kind of say, okay, this is where we're coming from. And it's really just about relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, because then now that person understands what you're trying to do, you understand what they're trying to do, and you're trying to do it better, the betterment of your client, for both of you are, and then it's done. I mean, I miss that about corporate America for that part of the job. Like, I was a fixer.
Right, yeah.
Send Derrek up the Aspers, Pennsylvania, to the Mott's facility. We've got some issues, right? And so here I go. And then you would stay up there for a week or whatever. But I do miss that part of it, just the interaction and trying to figure it out. And, okay, this is what you're doing, this is what we're doing, how can we do it, and work synonymously together. So that, but it's crazy, though, how it all comes back to relationships and customer service and being able to talk to somebody. And
it's a lost art. These things help, though. These conversations, long form conversations, where you can break this stuff down for people, make them understand what it is you're talking about. Instead of just having talking shit on a post and then kind of walking away.
Yeah, the keyboard warrior or whatever. Yeah, that's become too easy to do, and you don't have to back it up. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
You say it and you turn it off.
No accountability, man.
No, none.
No, and I've talked about that a million times, but I do think it's I don't know. Maybe the pendulum is swinging back a little bit. I feel like it's starting to.
I agree, 100%. I think we see it.
Compared to 2 or 3 years ago, man. Holy shit,
Yeah, and I say that, and then I see what happens up in New York with that mayor candidate that's up there, and I'm like,
I'm not even privy to what's going on in the political sphere. And here's where I'm at on that too. It's like, I don't believe any fucking thing. I don't believe what Republicans say. I don't believe what Democrats. I don't really believe anybody, because once you read into everything, it's like, dude, it's really hard for me to believe any fucking body.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I mean?
100.
Like, so I can't really get in an argument or like into super, like, The reason I can't get in conversations is because anyone that's going to have a conversation with you about any of that is only probably well read on one side of the subject matter. They don't know the entire thing. Like, and the subject matter they may be well read on probably is a distraction for what's actually going on. You know what I mean?
Well, to your point, the lost art, is being able to have a conversation anyway, because and it doesn't matter. I don't care what side you're on. Like, two grown adults that don't agree with each other on whatever, in this case politics, should be able to talk about it. And growing up, I saw my parents, my grandparents, and they were always politically inclined or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could talk to somebody that didn't have your beliefs and everything was fine. Now?
Well, it's like LSU versus Alabama.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's like you're just signing up for a team and you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Yeah. You read some stuff, you get behind an ideology and you think you have a clue. And honestly, my biggest thing is if you don't have a dog in the fight at all, if you can't compare your life to that, or if you're not somehow directly associated to it, like, you probably should just leave it alone. You know what I mean?
The biggest thing to me is just think for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care what aisle you're on. You know what I'm saying? Just if you can think for yourself and use common sense, and be able to hold a conversation like a mature adult, then you'd be all right.
Yeah, man. I just, it's interesting. I get a kick out of it, dude. I use it for entertainment at this point. I can't even get upset. I use it for entertainment. My wife and I were talking about this last night. I was like, the people who just aren't, they just, like I said, latch onto something and just roll with it and have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Like, it literally is comical to me. Like, if someone posts anything political and then someone gets in there, what about, well, this, and this? I'm like, dude, that policy's changed 3 times since last time you read something, and that's not the current scenario that we are told is happening, right?
That's right.
So, I don't know, man, but I think, you say too much, and it's like, dude, they'll just pull the plug on this thing. It'll never exist again, right? But it's like, I mean, the powers that be run this place. I don't care what anyone says. I feel like there's always going to be someone telling someone what to do, no matter what side you're on. That's my opinion. It makes more sense to me.
Well, it's however it makes sense to you. I mean,
it's to me.
Everybody process is different, bro.
Yeah. But dude, before we wrap up, any final thoughts or anything you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, it took you 6 years to get me on here, so
I mean, dude,
you gotten so busy and
twisted your arm too. You forgot about it.
I really did.
I don't look at you.
When you texted me yesterday, and I didn't forget about.
Well, I forgot
about the date.
I didn't have it on my calendar, and the reason I text you because it came up. I was looking through something. I was like, son of a bitch, that's scheduled for tomorrow, and I was like, let me check and make sure.
Yeah.
Because my day, fortunately, was actually open, and I was like, well, we'll go ahead and do it because I don't want to push it back, because when I do that, then it might be 3 months for me to do it again,
or another 6 years.
Come on, bro.
Well, hopefully soon you'll have a place where you can come and visit and have a place to stay in Tennessee.
That'd be nice. But until then, you have a great business here.
We do.
And this place is still great, and it's afforded you all your luxuries.
Yeah. Listen, we have been super blessed with our business, and it has supported my family and it supported itself. And it is a bittersweet thing. It truly is. But again, life happens, and God calls us to go different ways, and we'll see what that final plan is. Again, we may be here a year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, super blessed, appreciative. I can't even think of the words I would use for what that area has meant to us and supported us both. God, not just financially, but emotionally and in different ways. The friendships I've made, like with you, like you take that with you forever. Like if I'm in Tennessee, whatever, and I'm on top of a mountain or something and doing something and taking a picture and sending to you, or or if you're coming through town and staying, you can't take that away. In the 6 years that we have been here, you can't take that away, the memories and the relationships that we've made here.
Yeah.
And again, it may be longer, maybe shorter. I don't know how that's going to play out yet. Here's what I do know. I'm 56, and I'm still learning that not everything works on my time.
Yeah.
and patience, they say patience is a virtue. I don't have that. And I always feel like when everything kind of goes into place, and with Riley just graduated and she's fixing to go to college, I'm like, okay, well, the next thing is we're going to settle and we're going to be gone. And if it doesn't happen as fast, I just have to remember it ain't on your time.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I think when you do sit back and take a breath, shit happens a lot smoother too.
Absolutely.
You're not putting all that pressure on you and the family and the
Lord
business.
Knows like I said, I already have my anxiety issues. I don't need to put any extra on me for sure.
So
and I do appreciate I appreciate you having me on one, but I do appreciate your friendship and the things that you've helped. You've been an integral part when we first started up of helping us get started and getting us exposure from car shows to
we had some good times, man.
Different stuff that we've done out there with y'all, and it's been awesome. So we really do appreciate it.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Well, I love you, dude, and
love you too,
I hate to see you go. I hope it's sooner than later for you, but we're gonna miss you.
Well, I might be gone, but I won't be forgotten. I always, I'll be around. Like I said, you always got a place at our place when
I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna come up there and bother the hell out of y'all.
Yeah, right. That's what we're there for, man.